even if the Buffalo Bills come back to win today against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and coincidentally, they just scored a touchdown to go up 13-10 against the Buccaneers right as I'm starting to record this, so that's kind of cool that I got that. And the Chargers just kicked a field goal to cut the lead for Jacksonville to 7-6. By the way, my two favorite players of all time are Maurice Jones-Drew and LaDainian Tomlinson. So it's always fun for me when the Jacksonville Jaguars play the LA Chargers. Although the Chargers should still be in San Diego. They are the San Diego Chargers, not the Los Angeles Chargers. I grew up with them being the San Diego Chargers, playing at Qualcomm Stadium with Phillip Rivers, Antonio Gates. Like I said, my favorite player of all time, LaDainian Tomlinson. They played in San Diego. But, getting back to my main point, even if the Buffalo Bills do go on to defeat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers today, which, like I said, they literally scored a touchdown right as I started recording this video to go up 14-10 midway through the second quarter. Guess what? It doesn't matter to me. Either way, I am saying the Buffalo Bills window is not just closing, it is closed. That's right. I am saying the Buffalo Bills window as a Super Bowl contender is closed. Yeah, they're not going to win the AFC East this year. And depending on what happens, there's a possibility they could miss the playoffs entirely. Because, well, you have at least one team coming out of the AFC North. That's probably going to be Baltimore. I have Baltimore beating the Cleveland Browns today. 31. Yesterday in my prediction video, I said that the Ravens were going to win 31-17. But this is AFC North football, so I'll say it's a little closer. I'll say Ravens win 31-23. So that's my official prediction for today's game between the Baltimore Ravens and the Cleveland Browns. Ravens 31, Browns 23. But getting back to my main point, you got the Ravens in the mix. You've got the Colts, who are most likely going to win the AFC South, but Houston is right there. Jacksonville's right there. In the AFC West, you got the Denver Broncos, who are hosting the Kansas City Chiefs in a massive game. If the Denver Broncos really want to prove themselves as legitimate contenders, go beat the three-time Super Bowl champions under Patrick Mahomes. The guy who has who is a three-time Super Bowl MVP. Go beat him. And Bo Nix, rather than just be a fourth quarter guy, go out and be a four-quarter guy. Meaning, don't forget about quarters 1, 2, and 3. Go play in those quarters. But we shall see. But when you've got 3 teams in the AFC West, possibly 2 teams in the AFC South, and at least 1 team from the AFC North, along with New England, who I think is going to win the division. But not just that. I think the Patriots will clinch the number 1 seed in the AFC. And if you want to get to Super Bowl 60, you got to go through Gillette Stadium in Foxborough, Massachusetts. Where have I heard that before? Oh yeah, that's right! During the Brady Belichick era. I'm not saying Drake May and Mike Vrabel are the next generation of Brady Belichick, but they are a year ahead. When I did my official predictions for the NFL with Brandon during championship rings, I said the Patriots were going to win the division. Or, I'm sorry, my bad. I said the Patriots would make the playoffs as a wild card team. I didn't think they were going to win the division, though. But yet, here they are. So, because of that, I think the Buffalo Bills window is closed and shut. You've won the AFC East 5 years in a row. But have you done anything in the playoffs? Nope. Have you made the Super Bowl at all? Zero. Because you lost to Joe Burrow and you continue to lose to Patrick Mahomes. It's like the Buffalo Bills treat the regular season Kansas City game as their Super Bowl. Because think about this. The Bills, they're riding this high after beating Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. And then they go down to South Beach against a dysfunctional franchise in the Miami Dolphins who had fired their general manager. Mike McDaniel is on the hot seat. I'm honestly surprised he hasn't been fired yet. Even though, yes, I know the Dolphins have now won back-to-back games because they beat the Washington Commanders earlier today in Madrid, Spain, at the home of Real Madrid. But still, the Dolphins are a dysfunctional franchise. The Bills had won 7 in a row against the Dolphins going into that game. And you lose 30-13. Yeah, I'm sorry. But to me, the Buffalo Bills window is closed. They are not true contenders anymore. Sorry. I know Josh Allen won MVP last year, and he's still a great quarterback. But is he great enough to get you to the Super Bowl? No. And I think part of that is because the Bills front office has completely failed him, especially at this year's trade deadline. You knew you didn't have enough weapons around Josh Allen, and yet you did nothing. Nothing. The Patriots have overtaken you in the AFC East, and yet you did nothing. Nothing. By the way, Tampa Bay has the ball now. They're down 14-10 with 7:17 left in the first half. But to me, like I said, the Buffalo Bills are not contenders anymore. Their window is closed. I cannot say enough. I believe the Buffalo Bills window is closed. Yeah, that's right. Even if they beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers today, which they are currently up 14-10, which it's an impressive win if they beat the Buccaneers at home. Don't get me wrong. But their window is still closed. When you look at their schedule the rest of the way, here, I'll go through it. Pulling it up right now. Okay, so following today's Buccaneers game, they have to play at the Houston Texans on Thursday Night Football. Then they're at the Pittsburgh Steelers. Then they host the Cincinnati Bengals. Then they're at the New England Patriots. Then they will be at the Cleveland Browns. Then they host the Philadelphia Eagles. And then they finish the season out at home against the New York Jets. To me, they can beat the Houston Texans, but am I going to pick touchdown Tampa Bay? Buccaneers retake the lead 17-14. Sean Tucker and the Buccaneers retake the lead. But am I going to pick them to beat the Houston Texans even if the Texans don't have CJ Stroud? No. Am I going to pick them to beat the Pittsburgh Steelers? Yes. Even though the game is in Pittsburgh, I don't trust the Steelers. And the only reason the Steelers beat the Colts at home, and the only reason the Steelers beat the Patriots in New England is because they forced 5 or 6 turnovers in those 2 games. Am I going to pick the Bills to beat the Bengals? Yes. As the Jaguars score a touchdown and they go up 13-6 against the Chargers in Jacksonville. Am I going to pick the Bills to beat the Bengals? Yes. Am I going to pick the Bills to beat the Patriots in New England? Nope. I know the Patriots already beat the Bills in Buffalo on Sunday Night Football. But guess what? The Patriots are legitimate. They are true Super Bowl contenders. They've now won 8 in a row after dominating the New York Jets on Thursday Night Football. Drake May, to me, is the favorite for MVP this season. And he's only in his second year. That's what's crazy, is he's only in his second year and he's doing this. Am I going to pick the Bills to beat the Cleveland Browns in Cleveland? I don't know. I don't. Because I know Josh Allen is great, but I think the Browns defense can get after Josh Allen. We've given the Bills a fight the last couple times we've played them. And we beat them the last time they came to Cleveland. So you know what? I'm going to go out on a limb. I say the Cleveland Browns will beat Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills here in Cleveland. You know partially why I'm saying that? Because who do the Bills host the week after that? Oh, I don't know. Jalen Hurts, Devontae Smith, Saquon Barkley, A.J. Brown, and the Philadelphia Eagles. You don't think playing at Cleveland the week before is a trap game? I certainly do. And sure, the Carolina Panthers didn't take advantage of that. But the Cleveland Browns will. Do I think Dylan Gabriel will be our starting quarterback in that game? No. I think Shedeur Sanders will be the Browns' starting quarterback going into that game against the Bills. In fact, I'm going to make a prediction. Shedeur Sanders will be the Cleveland Browns' starting quarterback in Week 14 when we host Cam Ward and the Tennessee Titans. So, it won't be next week when we play at the Raiders. It won't be the week after when we host the San Francisco 49ers. It'll be in Week 14 when we host the Tennessee Titans. As the Chicago Bears, I think might have just scored a touchdown, and they go up 6-3 against the Minnesota Vikings. But, again, back to my main point, I know they have Josh Allen. I know Sean McDermott is their head coach. But, yes, you've won the AFC East from 2020 to 2024. But, regardless of what happens today against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, which, again, the Buccaneers are currently up 17-14. I think the Buffalo Bills window is closed. I will not put them in the Super Bowl conversation anymore. Even though they still have the reigning MVP, no, they are not Super Bowl contenders anymore. Nope.